So if, let me just give you the idea here. Here, black or whiteboard here. Okay, for example, so you enter into a contract for 60 days and you said that you are going to buy Canadian dollar. And of course, there's going to be a rate and reference point as well. For example, you said, okay, I'm going to be buying 100,000 Canadian dollar at $0.7 per Canadian dollar. So that is your, this can be forward, can be future, because we are just talking about, because both are the same, only one is standardized. So I'm just going to talk about it in futures term. So it can be forward as well, okay? So don't worry about, because pricing and solution or finding out the value of the future or forward contract is the same. Okay, what happened after 30 days? You realize, or the, your exporter says to you, look, we cannot make the goods on time. So, or due to some, natural disaster or what happened whatsoever, we are canceling our contract, we cannot fulfill the promise. Or you said that, or you find out that the demand of those product that I am importing is no more there, so you cancel the contract. You pay some upfront, 1% or 2%, you apologize that, okay, I cannot import that one. You cancel the contract. But that contract is goods transfer contract, not the money. You already bought the futures, and it must be honored at its expiration here. So after 30 days were passed, you realize that, okay, due to some reason, you cannot, the contract between exporter and importer is cancelled. So you enter the contract to buy the Canadian dollar. So after at day 30, how you can close down? So you enter into sell. For how long? 30 days. Because you are going to start from 0 to 30 days. Because your overall contract is going to expire in 60 days. 30 days has already passed. So you just have 30 days left. So you enter into a new contract, you log on to your exchange account and you make a reverse position. So that when 60 days pass, you buy the Canadian dollar and you sell the Canadian dollar here. So you enter into two opposite contracts, so that each cancels others. So the difference between the rates is going to be your profit and loss, right? Maybe in 60 days, you are buying the Canadian dollar at $0.7 and you are selling the Canadian dollar at $0.68 over Canadian dollar. So in this case, you are buying at 0.7 and you are selling at 0.68. So it means 0.02 is going to be your loss. Or maybe the price is, after 30 days price start rising, maybe it would 0.78. Anything can happen, right? And you are having a profit of 0.08 rather than loss of 0.02. But that depends on situation to situation. So now you understand what do we mean by closing out the future position or offsetting the contract, right? So let's just talk about the example. I'm going to just clear all this drawing here and I'm going back to our slide here. So now when we read this one, now you understand what's going on. So, so also now we can also, can do it in opposite direction as well. So what if the buyer of the currency of future can close out their position by selling the identical future contract prior to settlement? So if you are buying, your opposite contract would be selling. If you are selling, your opposite contract would be buying, right? Because you want to cancel your position. So this is just financial terminologies to understand what is, closing out position and or offsetting the contract, right? So this is a very fancy jargon or the language of international finance. Okay, so don't just worry about the jargons. Try to follow it. So let's just talk about the example here. On January 10, Tacoma Corporation need Australian dollar in March 19. So when it orders supplies from Australian supplier, okay, so they think on January 10, so they need Australian dollar in March 19 because they ordered Australian supplier who will supply them on March 19, and you will be transferring Australian dollar on March 19, right? But you are right now at January 10. Consequently, Tacoma purchases a future contract specifying 100,000 Australian dollar and a March settlement date, right? So because you are purchasing goods, so your biggest risk is that Australian dollar will go up. So you purchase. So that's why you purchase the future contract, right? Okay. So on January 10, when you enter the contract is priced at the future rate is $0.53 per Australian dollar. On January 15, Tacoma realized that it will not need to order supplies because it has reduced its production level. So therefore, it has no need for Australian dollar in March. So they are just canceling the contract. When they cancel the contract with Australian, supplier, but they already entered into the future market. So in future market, they cannot just say, okay, I'm not going to honor the contract, right? That's it. So because this is contract, and you must honor that. So how they can cancel their contract? Because they enter into buying, purchasing, and now let me change the pen color here. Here. So it sells future contract on Australian dollar with March settlement date, March 19 date. To offset the contract it purchased in January. So at this time, the future contract is priced at 0.50 per Australian dollar. So what happened on March 19? They will be buying the Australian dollar at 0.53 and selling it at 0.50. The difference would be 0.03. That would be their loss, right? So let's talk about this. On March 19, the settlement date, Tacoma has offsetting positions in future contracts. So Tacoma incur a loss from its future position. So we have summarized the situation here. Here we go. So the contract is from January 10 to March 19. So on 15, they realize that, okay, we are not going to, place goods or we cancel our order for Australian suppliers, but they cannot cancel the future contract. So they need offsetting position. So in January 1st, 10, they want to purchase Australian dollar. So whatever the spot rate here on 19, we honor the contract rate, which is future rate, which is 0.53. So they are going to buy 100,000 Australian dollar at 0.53. So they need to spend 53,000 US dollar, right? And on February 15, they enter into offsetting position in which whatever the rate in the market at 15 of January, the rate was 0.50 for 15 February to March 19. Rate was 0.50. So they entered into offsetting position with the same amount, 100,000. So they said, okay, I'm going to be selling at $0.5. So you see, they would be receiving 50,000 and they would be paying on the same date 53,000. So loss would be $3,000 loss, right? So most currency future contracts are closed out before the settlement date, right? What does it mean? So whether you wait till March 19, your loss would be 3,000, or whether here on February 15, if you want to close out your position, you can just contact the exchange and just click on the button that you want to settle right now. Even then, your loss is $3,000. So point is, there is nothing you can do, to decrease your loss. Whether you are 16, 17, 18 January, 20 or whatsoever, the loss is because loss is also locked. It cannot be decreased. It cannot be increased. So most future contract, they said, I don't know why to wait till March 19. Maybe the thing is skip out from our mind, or maybe at that time we are traveling or something. So it's better to close this position right now. Close. That's it. So you just offset the contract. That's it. Right? Everybody understand that? Kathleen, Florian, Crystal, Fabian,
Yes, understand.
Yes.
Janela, Marilyn, Ping Ping, Lota. Good. Because these basically why I'm stressing, so much here, because this is the latest, and advanced knowledge at this level, at bachelor level. Because normally we taught this kind of, things in master degrees in MBA finance or in financial economic stuff over there. So this is the real knowledge, and this is very good for you at this time to learn about that. It will help you to manage your finances in futures, even though you don't have the practical knowledge, but even though you know the concept, when you enter into the market, it will further help you, because when somebody is talking about this kind of stuff, you can participate in the discussion and you can have a real experience. So that's why it's a little bit dry and also very technical. So this is my job to make it more easy and understand. So that's why I'm asking you, continuously grabbing your attention. So please don't mind if I ask multiple times. So sometimes students got offended. Why sir asking me? It's not because you are not paying attention. It's just I who want your 100% attention at every point. So I, in advance, I apologize for that, because I need 100% attention so that you understand, because this is very technical knowledge. Okay, so don't mind that. Okay, so we know that we can hedge through currency future contract. What if somebody wants to play with the future market and earn some money? So we call this speculation, in which your motive is not to minimize the risk. Your motive is high risk, high return, right? So you want to play the market, you want to enter into the market with a view to earn money. So we also call this betting, gambling, whatsoever. But in currency future contract, we call this speculation, a very fancy word to describe your motive is just to earn money. So currency future contracts are sometimes purchased by speculators attempting to capitalize. What do we mean by capitalize here? Attempting to earn profit on their expectation on currency future movement. So if you know that through because there are financial analysts, a lot of news analysts, Bloomberg portals, analysts for